This is what I deal with all day long, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Einstein's janitor. And it's Einstein's janitor's view of the world. And it goes like this. Now, here in my artificial example, I'm assuming that Einstein is smarter than his janitor. Now, if you've seen Good Will Hunting, you know that that's not a safe assumption. Sometimes the janitor is smarter than the physicists. But just for my example today, let us accept that the janitor is a normal person and Einstein is not. And that Einstein is smarter than the janitor, just for our example. But the janitor can be smart, okay? We're not dissing the janitor. Janitor work is important, and, well, I mean, if you didn't have janitors, you wouldn't need anything else. Everything would be a mess. So, yes, they are a critical job, no dissing on janitors. But let's say you looked at a normal distribution of intelligence in the country. You got your people who are not so smart, you got your average people, that's most of the world, and you got your Einsteins over here. The problem is that from the perspective of the janitor, let's say he's not as smart as Einstein, the janitor can recognize real dumb stuff because he's smarter. The janitor is an average person. And he knows dumb when he sees it. It's obvious. But the problem is the janitor also thinks that smart looks dumb because he doesn't understand it. And when the dumb person looks at a smart person, let's say Einstein, they think they're dumb. Let me give you an example of this without Einstein and a janitor. I'll bring it into your real world. Now, it doesn't require a genius and a janitor. It's just any difference in what you know about the world, right? So it's not even IQ. It could be how well informed you are. So let's just call that all intelligence. Let's say political intelligence, because it's your IQ, but it's also have you paid attention and listened to the right news sources, etc. Whenever there's that difference in how much two people know, the person who knows the least can't tell if the person who knows the most is smart or stupid. They look the same. Can't tell. All you know is that you've got this opinion you think is pretty darn smart, and all the average people agree with you. Look, I got 80 million average people who are on the same page as me, so can 80 million average people be wrong? And the answer is, yeah, pretty much every time. These people over here, who the janitor might think is dumb but are actually the smart ones, yeah, they might know more than the average person. That's what makes them, wait for this, this is a hard concept, that's what makes them above average, that they're above average. So this problem you'll see played out over and over on Twitter. People who don't know as much as you calling you stupid. It's the most frustrating thing in Twitter. Now this effect is accentuated by the fake news. So the people who consume nothing but fake news are pretty sure that they're over here on the smart side of things. But they've eaten so much fake news, they don't know that no matter what their natural IQ is, effectively they're morons. Right? And there's nothing wrong with the people. The people are good, well-meaning people with high IQs, but because they consume fake news exclusively, they're effectively morons. And they can't tell when somebody's not, because it looks like they're even dumber than they are. It's like, you're coming up with stuff I've never even heard of. Because you watch the wrong news. That's why you've never heard of it. There's a reason. So anyway, I'm going to call this the Einstein janitor effect, if you hear me refer to it. Somebody says, we are smart and our news is not fake. Well, I believe that the fake news is both left and right. And if you're not sampling both sides and independent people as well, you're probably not even close to the truth. But the people who only consume the fake news on the left are definitely the worse off information-wise. If you consume both, which is typical of the conservative world, at least you know what the argument is, right? At least you've heard the other side. But if you're on the side who has never heard the other argument, it's going to look stupid when you do, because you won't know the background or the context.